What if your dog has been trying to tell you something about their health, and you've been missing it completely? Not because you're careless, not because you don't pay attention, but because the signs are so quiet, so subtle, so easy to explain away, that even the most devoted owners walk right past them every single day. You watch your dog, you notice things, and yet, somewhere in the gap between noticing and understanding, something slips through. By the end of this, you'll know what those signs look like. And more importantly, you'll understand why they're so easy to miss in the first place. Your dog looks fine. They eat their food. They go on walks. They come when you call. From the outside, everything looks normal. And so you breathe. You don't worry. You tell yourself you'd know if something was wrong, but something small has changed. And you didn't think it mattered. Most people believe that a dog who is eating and moving is a healthy dog. It makes sense. Those are the visible signs of life, the obvious markers of well-being. If they're upright and hungry, they're okay. But dogs don't show pain the way humans do. And that's exactly why so many signs get missed. Here's something that changes how you see everything. Dogs are wired, deeply and instinctively, to hide weakness. This isn't stubbornness. It isn't them being mysterious. It goes back further than any domestic relationship. In the wild, showing vulnerability makes an animal a target. Pain signals danger to predators. So, over thousands of years, dogs developed an extraordinary ability to mask what they're feeling, to keep moving, to keep functioning, to appear okay even when they're not. So they don't cry out. They adjust. They shift the weight off the leg that hurts. They find a different way to lie down. They slow their pace slightly, just enough to compensate. They do it quietly. They do it without complaint. And because they do it so well, you don't notice. Because there's nothing obvious to notice. Just a dog who seems fine, moving through their day the way they always have. Except not exactly the way they always have. The first sign is subtle, a change in behavior. Less excitement when you come home, less urgency at the door, less movement through the house, more quiet than usual, in a way that's hard to name but somehow registers somewhere in the back of your mind as slightly different. Not dramatic, just different. You might explain it away. Maybe they're tired. Maybe it was a long week. Maybe they're just being calm today. And maybe you're right. But that small shift, that slight dimming of their usual energy is sometimes the earliest signal the body sends. Not a shout, a whisper. They still do everything. They still eat, still walk, still play, sometimes. Just slower, a little less engaged, a little less interested in the things that used to light them up. You notice it, and then you don't. Because it happens so gradually that it becomes the new normal before you realize anything has shifted. And it's easy to ignore precisely because it happens gradually. The human brain is wired for contrast. We notice sudden change. We're built to respond to the dramatic, the obvious, the urgent. But slow change, incremental shifts over days and weeks, those slide beneath our awareness almost every time. But here's where it gets serious. The third sign isn't behavioral, it's physical. And it's even easier to dismiss because it doesn't look like what we picture when we imagine an animal in pain. It looks like a dog licking one specific spot on their leg over and over for no apparent reason. It looks like them shifting positions more than usual, settling, then adjusting, then settling again. It looks like a flinch when you touch their back, just for a second, so brief you almost think you imagined it. It looks like avoiding the stairs they used to bound up without thinking. Small physical habits that don't look like pain, but are. These microsignals are the body's quiet vocabulary. A dog cannot say, "My hip hurts," or "This spot is tender." So they communicate through behavior, through repetition, through avoidance, through the places they choose not to go and the positions they choose not to hold. Every small, repeated physical habit is information, and most of it goes unread. Sometimes the biggest sign is emotional distance. This one hits differently because it doesn't look like illness. it looks like a shift in relationship. They stop coming to find you in the evening. Stop following you room to room. Stop placing their head in your lap the way they used to, instinctively, without reason. They're still present, still in the house, but somehow slightly further away, as though something small has moved between you. And here's what makes this so hard. It doesn't feel like a health warning. It feels personal. It feels like a change in how they feel about you. So you don't connect it to their body, you connect it to the relationship. You wonder if you've done something, if they're upset, if something is off between you. But a dog withdrawing isn't withdrawing from you, they're withdrawing into themselves, into the management of something inside that takes more energy than they have to spare. Connection requires presence. And when all their presence is going toward coping, there's simply less left over for everything else. Think about this. Your dog used to sit next to you. Every evening, without fail, they'd settle beside you on the couch, or at your feet, or just close enough that you could reach them without moving. And now they don't. They're across the room, on their bed, somewhere slightly removed. You noticed, and then you moved on. You thought nothing of it, but that was the signal. What small change have you noticed, but explained away? Because by the time dogs show obvious pain, it's often already serious. The limp you can't ignore. The whimper that startles you. The collapse that makes everything suddenly terrifyingly clear. These aren't the beginning of the problem. These are the point at which the body can no longer compensate. And everything that came before, every subtle shift, every small adjustment, every quiet behavioral change, that was the conversation you didn't know how to have. Most people realize it too late. Not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know what they were looking at. Your dog isn't being quiet. They're communicating in a language most people were never taught to read. Every shift in posture, every change in routine, every moment of unexpected withdrawal, it's all language. It's all information. It's a system of signals built from instinct and experience, and the particular vocabulary of the body that has no other way to speak. They were trying to tell you, you just didn't know how to listen. That's not a failure. That's what happens when we love something deeply and don't yet have the knowledge to hear it clearly. The gap isn't in the caring, it's in the understanding. And understanding can be learned. A good owner doesn't just see behavior, they notice change. Not perfectly, not immediately, but consistently, with attention that is tuned not just to what is obvious, but to what is different, to the small shift in morning energy, to the subtle preference for stillness over movement, to the way a dog chooses, quietly and without fanfare, to be slightly more alone than they used to be. This isn't about watching your dog with fear. It's about watching them with presence. The same presence they give you every single day, simply by being in the room, simply by choosing again and again to be near you. They offer you that attention without question. What they ask in return is that you pay it back with the same quality, not anxiety, just awareness, not vigilance, just noticing. Because sometimes the smallest signs are the most important ones. The dog who licks the same spot twice a day. The dog who hesitates at the bottom of the stairs. The dog who used to greet you at the door with everything they had and now greets you from the couch. These are not mysteries. They are messages. Clear, patient, consistent messages from an animal who cannot use words and so uses everything else. You know your dog. You know their rhythms and their habits and the particular shape of their days. That knowledge is not nothing. It is, in fact, everything. Because no veterinarian sees what you see. No one else knows what normal looks like for them the way you do. Which means no one else is better positioned to notice when normal shifts. You don't need to be a medical expert. You don't need specialized training. You just need to trust the small voice that says something feels different. The one you've been explaining away. The one you've been rationalizing with tiredness or weather or age. That voice is worth listening to, not with panic, with love, with the quiet, steady attention of someone who understands that the dog asking nothing of you may, in their own language, be asking for everything.